Personalized outreach versus automation. Which one is better? Coming from the appointment booking master, what do I think? Should you automate cold emails and voicemails, or should you do cold calls and direct mail? Over the years, I've heard a lot of gurus talk about you need to have a personalized outreach. You need to do everything you can to make sure that the prospect knows that you care about them, because if you do something that should be personal and you automate it, it's gonna damage the relationship with the prospect. So I wanted to test this. Last year, I did the most personalized campaign you could possibly ever do. The first thing I did was I manually found 100 prospects that I thought would be a really great fit for my service. So I wrote a letter to all of them. Now this was like a template letter that I sent to every single person. They all had some sort of personalization in it, which had their first name, their company name, and a few other personalizations, which we'll get into in a second. And I printed all those out at the library, and then I got a whole bunch of envelopes. I hand wrote every single letter in blue ink. I watched something where Sam Evans said you have to write it in blue ink because people are more likely to open it in blue ink. And I did a girl name because people are more likely to open something from the mail that's from a girl. And then I also bought a wax seal kit. So I wax sealed all of them because obviously it looks more personal and looks more human. Like no robot's gonna send you a personalized wax seal envelope. And then on top of that, in the letter, I talk about this. You just found the key to getting consistent sales calls. And on the wax seal, instead of like stamping it, I added a key. I took some, this was genius, all right? I took some tweezers and I added these little keys that I bought on Amazon and added it to each of the individual letters. And I thought this was genius. I thought I was gonna get so many sales calls from this because Gary Halbert talks about this a lot. It's about adding theater to your marketing or to your outreach. By that, he means adding uniqueness, adding something that no one else is gonna see. Like, they're gonna remember this for the rest of their life because they never saw that from anybody else, or at least remember it for the rest of the day, right? So imagine you got a personalized video from Taylor Swift herself pitching you my services, right? You're gonna be a lot more inclined to respond because, all right, he paid for Taylor Swift to reach out to me to pitch his services. Like, that's insane. So according to Gary Halbert, we have to add as much theater, as much uniqueness to our outreach and our marketing as possible. And I took this to the nth degree. I even took the time to add their photo to a QR code that they could scan. And when they scanned it, there was a personalized landing page that had their name on the landing page. And so this was like, who else is doing this? No one is doing this. Hands down, this has got to be like the best outreach that anyone has ever received. I spent around $200 putting this campaign together to send out to about 100 people, and I spent 20 hours wax sealing, handwriting, adding stamps to each one of these letters. So I put them in the mailbox and I just waited for all the calls to roll in. And while I waited, I reached out to all the prospects on LinkedIn, sent them a connection message with a note saying, hey, I just sent you something in the mail. I hope this address is a good address for you. And I put their address in the connection message. How do you not respond to that? If someone puts my address in the connection message, I'm going to respond. So I waited and waited. And after a few days, I knew that everyone had received their piece of mail, but I had no booked sales calls. I also added a tracker to all the QR codes so I could see if anyone scanned them, but no one had scanned any of the QR codes. And so I was like, where's all my sales calls, bro? So in a last ditch effort, I just sent my world famous 3 email sequence, and no one responded to the first email, no one responded to the second email, and I maybe got like 5 to 10 replies from the third email. Most of them saying no, 2 to 3 yeses, and 1 booked call out of it. And honestly, just looking back, I probably could have just saved my time and money. I probably could, if I just sent the email sequence, I probably would have gotten the same result. I probably would have gotten 1 booked call out of 100 emails that I sent out with my 3 email sequence, rather than spending $200, all this time, all this money, all this energy with the same. And I asked the guy that I had a sales call with, like, did you get my piece of mail? He said yes, he got it, and it was an okay sales call, but it didn't turn into a closed deal. And it was like, why did I put in all that work to get nothing out of it? And then the next day, I just did Facebook outreach and then some SMS outreach. Maybe sent 200 messages, got 10 booked sales calls. It maybe took me 30 minutes total to set up those automations. And Keaton Walker made actually a really, really good video on this about he tried to do a direct mail campaign. Spent like almost $10,000 on his direct mail campaign. I thought that was insane. And he got 1 client out of it, and that 1 client left after like 2 months. And so he didn't even get a return on investment from it. But we live and we learn. You know, I've tried personalized Loom videos and all the other stuff, but the time it takes to do each individual outreach or to personalize each individual person it's not worth the increase in reply rate. Usually you'll get a bump in replies, right? It'll be noticeable, but it's not worth what you put into it. Like the amount of hours that you put in for like a 1 to 3% increase in reply rate, it just isn't worth it. So when we're doing outreach, we want to do the best quality that we can in terms of our outreach, but we also still want to do a huge quantity of outreach. We can't sacrifice the quantity just to make the quality a lot better. Because I've noticed is that most people, they still get hit up a ton every single day. They still get like 100 messages from people pitching their services. And so all those people are automating their message. So the only thing you can really do to stand out is by making it a little better, but also automating it, because it's not gonna be worth it to do it one by one manually. So if you find a strategy that you think, oh, this would be a really good idea for in terms of outreach, think about, is this easy to set up and automate? If not, if you can't automate it, then just don't even do it. You can try it, but you'll run into the same problem where I ran into, where you spend 20 hours, $200 and got nothing out of it. I might make a video where I test like AI generated first lines or personalized automated Loom videos and compare it to just normal regular emails or normal regular messages. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want a system to get 120 sales calls per month on autopilot, which is what I've mastered, you can book a call with me below. I'll talk to you guys soon.